Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever in the world you are, thank you for joining us today at Ignite 2020. This is Best Practices for Delivering More Efficient and Impactful Meetings with Microsoft Teams. And I'm James Skate, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Microsoft Teams. In today's session, I'm going to walk you through a few areas that will help you deliver more efficient and impactful meetings with Microsoft Teams. First, we're going to start off by discussing this continuum of collaboration that you've heard about in our last digital breakout session, also known as the meeting lifecycle. Next, I'm going to share some best practices and considerations how you can get the most out of your next online meeting. And then the majority of our time is going to be spent in product in Microsoft Teams, giving you a left to right view of the Teams product through a demo. Let's jump in. In today's environment, online meetings are prevalent and we're now more overwhelmed than ever. But why are meetings so important? They've always been the cornerstone of teamwork. Whether in person in a conference room with remote attendees or working remotely, what is constant is meetings, and you guessed it, more meetings. In fact, meetings are so vital that the most of the time spent during a typical workday is in meetings. And what used to be a quick hallway conversation has now become a 30-minute online meeting. But how productive are they? And are you and your team making the most of the time spent together? Whether it comes in the form of meeting fatigue, unprepared attendees, distractions, or a lack of follow-through after the meeting, they can sometimes be counterproductive. And worst of all, the value of meetings diminishes when important insights, like decisions and action items, fall between the cracks from one meeting to the next. We need to think outside of the meeting. With Microsoft Teams, it's not all about the meetings. Not every decision, touch point, or collaboration moment may need to happen in the form of a meeting. Teams was designed to help you collaborate, save time, and stay in the flow of work. It's about getting work done and driving results together. But for those times when you do need to meet, Teams is the best place to gather and collaborate. Since you meet where you work, scheduling meetings, sharing files, and chatting with your colleagues is streamlined. And with the power of Microsoft AI and the Microsoft Graph connecting the dots for you, you stay connected, engaged with your own personal network. Our goal is to not only transform the way people and companies think about meetings, but also help you stay in the flow of work. From project start to project success, a lot happens in between, and Teams is the only solution that can help you every step of the way. From those meetings to the workloads, Teams is here with you every step of the way. We need to rethink the idea of meetings, not as disconnected experiences, but as part of a continuum of collaboration that relies on connected threads, context, and meetings until the project is complete, just as we saw in that prior slide. Teams supports this life cycle by bringing everything a team needs together for collaboration into a single place. You don't have to spend time hunting down information. People are switching between multiple applications to get things done. Teams delivers a unique end-to-end meeting experience that brings back the human element of face-to-face interaction while helping everyone stay focused before, during, and after the meeting. Let's dig in a bit more on the continuum of collaboration. Now, to ensure the meeting is productive, participants can prepare ahead of time by chatting and collaborating before the meeting is even started, even sharing pre-read materials ahead of time. Context is key. All chats, files, and notes shared stick with the meeting context, and they persist. Once the meeting begins, Teams enables seamless collaboration, whether co-authoring a PowerPoint presentation, ideating on a Microsoft whiteboard, or hosting a discussion with Together Mode. Teams brings everybody together, no matter where you are. And after the meeting, all the meeting assets, including the recording, transcript, chat notes, digital whiteboard, and files are saved in a persistent conversation that helps the team continue the discussion and drive work forward. Nothing gets lost in the cracks. Cloud recording and searchable transcripts mean that those that may have missed the meeting can quickly and easily catch up. Here are some best practices and considerations to help you get the most from your next Teams meeting. Let's first start by helping you prepare. Since many of us are jumping from one meeting to another, considering shortening your meeting. Instead of starting at the top and bottom of the hour, consider starting 5 or 10 minutes later. This buffer will give you both you and your meeting participants the opportunity to take a few minutes for a short break. Consider your meeting attendees and the type of meeting you're looking to organize. Do you need a meeting lobby where attendees will gather until you've entered them into the meeting? And who will present? Presenters have a lot more control than attendees, so be sure to define them appropriately. Preparing an agenda will not only help you frame if a meeting is needed, but it'll help you identify what outcomes and objectives you want to achieve. And by setting expectations ahead of time, it will allow your meeting participants to come better prepared to your meeting. And as I said before, context is key. And here's where we can begin to contribute to the meeting lifecycle. Instead of sending out that pre-read material by email or a separate Teams chat, keep it all together by chatting and sharing files in the meeting chat for your meeting. We'll dive more into this during our demo. When you're having your Teams meeting, here are a few tips and considerations to keep in mind. There's often a lot that needs to be accomplished during an online meeting. Take the time to make sure that everyone in the meeting has an opportunity to contribute. Pause, ask if there's any questions, and encourage attendees to use the raise hand feature if there are any. The Teams mobile app isn't just for taking meetings on the go. It's also a great companion for Teams meetings, whether you're presenting and controlling slides of a PowerPoint presentation, or choosing to share photos, live video, or even your entire phone's screen. There's a lot you can do to easily join your Teams meeting from the mobile app. Not only is the meeting chat a great place to connect, share, and collaborate before the meeting, it's also a great place to capture notes and action items during. Remember that that meeting chat persists, so any files and whiteboards shared during the meeting will be available after. This is also a great place for you to pick up and continue the conversation, context and check, even after the meeting ends. And then last but not least, consider recording your Teams meetings, not just for those that may have missed the meeting, but also for future reference. A lot can happen in a meeting, and having the ability to go back and rewatch or listen can be extremely beneficial. With our upcoming live transcription, you can choose to capture the spoken words of the meeting for future reference, including who said what. The meeting recording and transcript will also be available after the meeting and directly available within the Teams meeting chat, bringing everything together into that single place within the context of your meeting. And we'll soon be introducing the ability for you to save your Teams meeting recordings to OneDrive and SharePoint Online, making it easy to seamlessly share meeting recordings with those outside of your organization. And with that, we're going to dive into many of these in more detail in our demo. Let's first start in my Teams calendar. For those that may not be familiar, the Teams calendar is powered by Microsoft Exchange and offers the same view as you would see in Outlook. Now, looking here, I'm reminded that I have a financial review meeting tomorrow that I am leading and realized I forgot to send the pre-read to the group. Before, I used to go into Outlook and reply all to the meeting invite with an attachment, essentially creating another thread of information and one more email for my colleagues to manage. Now with Teams and the help of the meeting lifecycle, I can keep the context together by simply engaging with my meeting details. By right-clicking on my calendar, I can choose to chat with participants, which spins up a meeting chat in the context of the meeting. This action contributes to the meeting lifecycle, building upon the information that I originally provided, but also helps keep everything together. This is one of the best practices that I shared earlier, and if you can master this one, it'll help you stay organized. Let me share the deck with the group and ask for any feedback. In the meeting chat, I can choose to share a file. In this case, it's already on my OneDrive and easily shareable. Once I attach the file to the chat, Teams automatically takes care of the permissions so everyone on the thread can access. This helps streamline permission issues and keeps you in the flow of work. There, sent. Now you'll notice that the message I sent is in my Teams chat. You may also notice that there's an icon next to it that signifies it's a meeting chat. This is to help you easily identify meeting chats from other one-to-one and group chats. In addition, I can filter my Teams chats to see just those that are related to meetings. I do that by selecting the filter in the Teams chat, clicking on the ellipses, and then choosing Meetings. By opening the item in my Teams calendar, I can see all the data and artifacts related to the meeting, from the meeting chat, files shared, even whiteboards that may have been created. It's all contained right here. This is also where I can fine-tune my safety and security options for my Teams meeting. Oh, and that reminds me, I saw that I'm meeting with someone outside my organization tomorrow to answer some questions on an RFP. Let me check the meeting options and make sure that my settings are appropriately configured. Here, I can choose to define who can bypass the meeting lobby, configure how callers are treated, and define who can present, And by the way, here's a sneak peek into an upcoming feature. Control if your meeting attendees can unmute. We'll talk about this more later in the demo. We've recently added a new option in who can bypass our meeting lobby. Only me. With this new feature, everybody, including those in your own organization, will be held in the meeting lobby until you, the meeting organizer, chooses to admit them. Whether all at once or individually, this feature is especially good for those meetings where you want to have a quick huddle before kicking off. The other important configuration on this screen is the Who Can Present selection. Since presenters have more in-meeting controls than meeting attendees, including admitting individuals from the lobby, sharing content, starting recordings, muting, and removing individuals from the meeting, make sure you configure your meeting options appropriately to match the type of meeting attendees that you'll be hosting. Here I can choose everyone, people within my organization, or limit it to either specific people or only me. For this meeting, I'm going to send everybody outside of my organization to the lobby and restrict presenters to just my organization. And if you need to change these rules, don't worry. You can do it at any time before your meeting begins or even in real time during the meeting. Now let's actually get into a Teams meeting. Here we begin at our new pre-meeting join screen. This area was redesigned to help you seamlessly and effortlessly get into your Teams meeting with your preferred audio and video devices. Starting on the lower left, here's where you toggle your video on or off. If you choose to join your meeting with a background filter, whether or not that would be a blurred effect or choose from a previously provided image, or even uploading your own, you would do that here. Now, if you have more than one video source connected to your computer, you'll want to click on this gear source to specify which camera you'd like it to use. Now, speaking of devices, if you have more than one team certified device, you'll want to choose your respective speaker and or microphone if they're different in this specific setting area here. Now, if you have audio conferencing and you prefer to either dial into your meeting or have the meeting call you back, you'd specify audio. And if you have a Microsoft Teams room system or you're nearby one, choosing room audio will connect that system into your meeting and provide audio and video in the respective room. And then last but not least, should you be joining a Teams meeting with another person nearby who's also connected, one of you will want to make sure that you've connected with Don't Use Audio. This is to prevent that dreaded echo howling once multiple people have joined in the same room. So we got our video, got our audio set. Looks like we're good to go. Let's jump in the meeting. We're now in our Microsoft Teams meeting. For many of you who are familiar with Teams, this view may look a bit different. This is our new meeting experience, and may be available for many of you today to turn on. Simply go into the General tab in Teams settings and click on Turn on New Meeting Experience. Now before we begin, let's first start off with the docked control bar at the top of the screen. Here's where you can see a list of meeting participants, participate in a group chat, raise your hand, configure breakout rooms, by the way, a new feature coming to Teams meetings in early Q4, and more actions available under the ellipses. We'll go through each of these a bit more later on. When we first enter a Teams meeting, we are presented with a gallery view, the default view for all attendees. This allows us to see up to 9 videos at the same time, giving priority to those who are actively speaking. There are a few tips to keep in mind when it comes to personalizing your own view in a Teams meeting. From an individual's perspective, we can customize our own view of video. By right-clicking on an individual in the gallery view and choosing Pin, we can lock the video for our own view. We can undo the pin by reversing, simply right-clicking and choosing Unpin. But what about those times when we want to keep the attention and focus for everyone in the meeting onto a particular individual? We just released Spotlight, a capability where a presenter can right-click on an individual's feed in the gallery view and select Spotlight. When we want to release the video for the group, we click on the Stop Spotlighting icon at the top of the screen. Looks like we have more than 9 people joining today with video. Let's turn on Large Gallery View. To toggle to the other views available in Teams, meeting attendees can click on the More Actions ellipses and select Large Gallery. It's important to call out that currently each meeting participant needs to pick the view for their own that they wish to see. Great, we can now see everybody on the screen. Large Gallery View automatically resizes videos to accommodate up to 49 people. We can see the status of individuals' microphones as well as those who are actively speaking by the color of their name badge on the screen. And next, we have Together Mode, a new meeting experience that uses AI segmentation technology to digitally place participants into a shared background, making it feel like you're sitting in the same room with everyone else in the meeting or class. Together Mode makes meetings more engaging by helping you focus on other people's faces, body language, and making it easier to pick up on the nonverbal cues that are so important to human interaction. Now let's discuss our meeting controls and start off with the participants view. As you may have guessed, this is where we can see the roster of who's in our meeting, broken out by role, presenters and attendees. We can fine-tune and control the actions and access of each person in the roster by clicking on the ellipses. For example, we can make Connie a presenter so she can share her screen in our meeting. Or if needed, we can also remove people from the meeting. Let's get Connie back into the meeting. Here, we can enter a name of someone in our organization to join the meeting, where they'll receive a Teams incoming call notification showing that we've requested them to join the meeting. This feature is helpful if you need to nudge a colleague to join. Speakers can also mute meeting participants directly in the participant pane, both on an individual basis as well as muting the entire group of attendees or presenters. As I mentioned in the meeting options setup, we will soon enable meeting organizers the ability to restrict attendees from unmuting their microphones. In addition to setting this up ahead of time, you can also toggle in real time during a meeting. Click on the ellipses and choose Don't Allow Attendees to Unmute. This setting only applies to meeting attendees. Presenters can always continue to unmute. Once activated, if an attendee would like to share or contribute to the conversation, they can raise their hand and request to speak via chat. A meeting presenter can then choose to allow individuals to unmute their microphone. Speaking of raise hands, attendees can raise their hand directly in the top control bar by clicking on the hand. In addition, you can find the list of those who raised their hands in the participant view as well and in the order in which they're raised. As a presenter, you can choose to lower a hand should the need arise. A new feature coming soon to Teams meetings is the ability to customize your meeting options directly within the meeting. At the start of this demo, we set up our meeting lobby and presenter controls ahead of time. But for those times when we may need to change our settings at the meeting level, we can do so quickly on the More Actions ellipses and selecting Meeting Options. This could come in handy for lobby or presenter configuration for a large meeting where it may be difficult to manage and toggle on an individual basis. Many of you may be familiar with live captions, the ability for meeting participants to follow along with what is being said during a Teams meeting from the More Actions menu. We are now introducing speaker attribution, where not only can you follow along with what is being said in a Teams meeting, but who said it. And we're also building upon live captions with the introduction of live transcription. All of the spoken words in the meeting are captured in a live transcript that can easily be referenced both during and after the meeting. With live transcription, you can easily go back to see what you may have missed, including who said it. Soon, live transcription will be enabled when you record your Teams meetings, which is another best practice that I mentioned earlier. Not only do Teams meetings provide you with a reference point of what was discussed at a meeting, it is also a great way for those who may have missed the meeting to catch up as well. And with the introduction of live transcripts, catching up will be even easier. Both the meeting recording and the live transcript are available in the meeting chat as soon as the meeting concludes. And coming soon to Teams, all the Teams meeting recordings will be stored in OneDrive, enabling you to share your meeting recordings seamlessly and easily with those outside your organization. Now let's move on to sharing content. In Teams meetings, presenters have multiple options when it comes to sharing, whether it's your entire desktop, a specific application window, a native PowerPoint presentation, or even a Microsoft whiteboard, which, by the way, is persistent and remains a part of your meeting chat even after the meeting. And you could even choose to share your computer's system audio while presenting. Great for those times when you might be sharing a video. For this meeting, we're going to share a PowerPoint presentation. You can see here in the share thread that Teams has populated a few recent PowerPoint files that I've been working on, all powered by the Microsoft Graph. Let's open the Contoso Quarterly Sales Report. At the top of the window are my controls for the slides. In addition to advancing the slides, we can either allow or prevent attendees from advancing through the slides on their own by clicking on the eye icon here. Now, if someone is browsing slides on their own, they can quickly and easily jump back to the presenter's view with the click of a button. As the slides are presented, it looks like there are a few raised hands. We can see from both the badge at the top of the screen, as well as from the icons overlaid on the attendees down below. Let's open the participant view to see who had their hand raised first, and then let's dig into the discussion. As we bring our demo to a close, I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts to help you make the best of Teams meetings, where you can meet smarter, stay focused, and achieve more. We've just touched on a few of many features of Teams meetings, but the 3 key takeaways I'd like to leave you with are: remember, context is key. When hosting your next Teams meeting, give the meeting chat a try and keep your communications and files into a single place. And just because the meeting is over doesn't mean the meeting chat has to stop. Continue to track action items and conversations related to the topic. Utilize cloud recording to memorialize your Teams meetings, and keep an eye out for live transcription coming soon. The combination of these two is powerful and will help make sure you have captured all aspects of your meeting, including any key insights and action items. And last, turn on Together mode for your next meeting. Whether catching up with your colleagues or running a brainstorming session with your team, sit together in a virtual space and connect together. And if you haven't already, please check out Microsoft Teams keynotes, which are showcasing our latest Teams meetings innovation, including some enhancements coming to the Microsoft Teams meetings lifecycle. For the latest feature status on many of the new features that I shared with you in the demo, please visit the Microsoft 365 roadmap at aka.ms/m365roadmap. And if you aren't a Teams meeting user today, we invite you to host your next meeting online with us. We want you to make the most of your online meetings to meet smarter, stay focused, and achieve more. Deploying meetings just got easy. We've announced a new promotional offer for free audio conferencing until the end of your agreement, enabling you to call into your next Teams meeting at no extra cost. This offer is available for both new and existing customers that meet the offer eligibility criteria. To learn more, please contact your Microsoft sales representative. And we've barely touched the surface on the meeting spectrum that Teams offers. In addition to group meetings, Teams delivers everything from classic one-to-one meetings and calls all the way up to large-scale events and webinars. For additional information on these capabilities and more, be sure to check out the following sessions here at Ignite. I hope that you were able to learn something new about Teams and Teams meetings today during our time together. We look forward to hosting you in your next meeting online with Teams. And from all of us here at Microsoft, thank you for joining us today at Ignite, and have a great day.